Do you know what caffeine does to your brain? Well, I'm going to show you. First off, fun fact. Caffeine has been banned a bunch of times through human history, most notably by Gustav III of Sweden. He banned caffeine, but interestingly, he was also assassinated. Now, I'm not saying the two things are linked, but when you take away some people's reason for existence, shit's gonna go down. So this is the bit where I explain the science to you super simply so you can understand it, look smart to your friends, and basically understand what caffeine is doing and what we have to be aware of with our caffeine consumption. Don't worry if I'm slightly out of focus, I want this whiteboard in focus. So, we have our brain. On our brain we have lots of receptors. Lots of the neurotransmitters and hormones in our body work off a lock and key system like this. So let's say the shape of the locks on our brain are this shape. We have a substance that goes around in our body called adenosine. Adenosine is very important with the production of energy. And adenosine may be a circle like this. As the day goes on, the adenosine builds up and it sits perfectly in the shape of these adenosine receptors, and that creates a response of everything that comes with tiredness and slowing down for the day and lethargy. All comes because that adenosine molecule linked into that receptor like a lock and a key. This is where caffeine comes in. Now, caffeine may not be identical to the adenosine, but it may have a similar shape. So we might have a caffeine that looks like this, which is half a circle. And that caffeine, let's put a C in there, may sit into that adenosine receptor and block it. So now this adenosine cannot get in because caffeine is blocking all these receptors. So we are not now getting all the cascade of effects that happens when the adenosine joins and makes us feel tired. So that is how caffeine stops you feeling tired. Caffeine does a bunch of other things, from reducing the perception of pain, helping to mobilize fatty acids. So if you're in a calorie deficit and fat burning is a goal, caffeine around your workout can be a great thing to do. But this is how caffeine works. But there is a caveat you must be aware of. If you block these with caffeine and you keep having caffeine as the day goes on, more and more adenosine is going to build up as the day goes on. More and more adenosine is going to build up. And once this caffeine makes its way away from the receptor, you've got a bloody armada of adenosine waiting to hit all these receptors, and you will get extremely tired extremely quickly. So this is why it's a good reason to front load your caffeine in the day. Have your morning caffeine. If you're working out in the early part of the day, great. And then probably stop having caffeine before 3 p.m. If you are working out late, this may be an exception to the rule because the benefits of caffeine around your workout can be great. But if it affects your sleep, then it may be something that you have to reduce, and it may affect you may not notice how long you're sleeping, but your quality of sleep may change as well. So caffeine has a very long half-life and quarter life, like 8 hours plus, which means it stays in your system for a long time. And one thing people can find if they have caffeine late in the day is, yes, they get to sleep fine, but they find themselves waking up more times, and maybe they don't get quite into deep sleep as they would otherwise. Anyway, super simply, that is how caffeine affects your brain and what it does. If you enjoyed this type of education video, guys, please let me know. It's nice to go back to our roots and for me to do this. Like this video, leave me a comment so I know you enjoyed it. Also, with any questions that you have, see you in the next one, guys. Bye-bye.